Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk today, along with my co-host Byrne and Nick Miller. And in this video, we're getting another draft video today, but with this one we got a little bit different. We're going to be going over our top goalies in the 2023 NHL draft. Now we know how good this NHL draft is. We've been saying it all along, even while the playoffs have been going on, and now that the draft is upon us, we're going to be going over most stuff before the draft coming up here. We've always been talking about how good it is. We know how good it is, it's very, very stacked from the round 1 to honestly 3. It's very, very good players. So I wouldn't say that we're going to get any of these goalies very early. I'm not going to say a first or second round pick, maybe late second. I'd say it'd be very difficult to find a goalie in that time frame of the draft. But I think any of these goalies that we're going to be talking about here today, we each picked one like we did last video with our draft one. We each picked one we're going to be over, what we think about them, why we think they're one of the better goalies in this draft, or the best goalie in this draft, and just giving our explanation of who we think they could go to, where we think they could go. And we're just going to be going over it, but all these guys are good. I think you can get a fringe starting goalie, someone who needs to develop pretty late in this draft because of how stacked it is, and there's going to be a lot of people who want to move picks to try to move up, maybe move down, want to take a goalie here. So I think that anybody has the possibility to take a very good goalie in this draft. But make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more draft content. We got a lot coming before the draft starts. But without any further ado, we're going to go into my choice here, which is Trey Augustine from the U.S. National Development Program and going to the university, Michigan State University. This guy, I think, is probably the top goalie in the draft. He's my favorite goalie by far in this draft. He's been very, very good from what he's seen. In the small amount of time we've seen him on the international stage, he's been absolutely fantastic. You can see here in the recent U18s that was just April, 2 months ago. He played 6 games, went 6-0, a 161 goals against, and a 934 save percentage. He's been absolutely fantastic in that tournament, and even after the World Junior Championship this year as well, you can see his stats were pretty inflated. 285 goals against and 891 save percentage. At the start, you'd say that's not the best, but you see he was 4-1 there as well, and he led the U.S. to a lot of those wins. But yeah, his international play has been very good. It's kind of hard to watch some the U.S. national development team and stuff like that up here in Canada. Not very easy to see those games, so we can't really judge him off those. But his stats, very good. The clips I've seen of him, it's been very good. You can see 29, 1-2 there on the U18 team. That's absolutely incredible. But you can see here with his rankings as well. He's probably a second to fourth round pick. He's not going to be a first round pick. You can see there's a lot of variation there. He's third ranked Central Scouting North American goalie. Then you see him there as well, ranked 77 by the Hockey News. So I think any one of those picks will be all right with him. I can see if someone wants to go early and take that chance on him, I will happily agree with that. I can agree if someone wants to also wait on him, depending on what the draft looks like, because we know that we have no idea what's going to happen really much after the top 6 or so. It's going to be a lot of variations I can see happening. One team, though, I do want to mention who I think, if they have the opportunity to take Trey Augustine, is the Montreal Canadiens. They have Samuel Montembeault right now, and you don't know really for sure if he will be your starting goalie for the future. If you can get Trey Augustine with probably a third or fourth round pick, I think that would be an absolutely fantastic idea. Test out Montembeault for a little while, and then if he don't really work, you want to trade him. Even if he does play well, but not good enough to be a starting standard, trade him away, and then you have a potential elite goalie on your hands as your starting goalie. But what do you guys think about that? Just before we go into yours, Noah, what do you think about a Trey Augustine in the Montreal jersey?
I very much like it. I think it lights a fire under Montembeault's ass. It tells him, okay, you're here, you're our future. If you don't pan out, get out. Plain and simple.
Fair enough, yeah.
Montreal Canadiens need another elite goalie. One is on the way out, and Carey Price. And everyone saw he moved away from Montreal today. There's no chance he's ever coming back to play again. So another elite goalie on our hands. I can't say no to that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I do apologize for the ramble as well. We're about 5 minutes into this video, and you guys haven't even said a word. Okay, Noah, let's go on to yours. Who do you have for your goalie?
Yeah, so I have Jacob Fowler from Youngstown in the USHL. You're probably going to see him drop to probably around the 4th, 5th round. To say he experienced success is an absolute understatement. He was easily the best goaltender in the USHL this year. With 40 games played, he went 27, 9, and 3, and 1. So I guess 27, 9, and 4 is a better way of saying it. And he had a 921 save percentage, which is absolutely crazy. It was the most, I think it was one of the best save percentages in that league, which is absolutely phenomenal. And he is committed to Boston College with guys like Will Smith, who is going to be a top 5 pick, and Ryan Leonard, who might be a top 5 pick. So I'm very excited to see how he goes. I think he could very much be a candidate to start in US for the World Juniors. And I think that's when everybody's going to see how good this guy is. I look at a team like New Jersey last year who kind of ran into a goalie problem with Akira Schmid and Vitek Vanacek, those guys who aren't that bona fide number one guy. I like New Jersey to pick him here in the 3rd or 4th round because, they need a starting goalie, and New Jersey is probably a good candidate to pick up a goalie in this draft. So I love Jacob Fowler, and I think he's going to be a stud in the league.
Yeah, one thing to mention as well, I do like the commitment to Boston College. We know how good that program has been, how many good players have came out of Boston College, and how many players are currently incredible that are playing there. So I think that'll get him the experience he needs, playing with some superstars, practicing with them, and also having elite talent in college. It'll be very good for him, and that's quite a tandem there of if it is Jacob Fowler and Trey Augustine for the U.S., that's a pretty good one, I gotta say.
It's scary.
Yeah. Nick, who do you have for your goalie, for the best goalie in the draft?
Well, for my favorite, I've got Thomas Milic out of Seattle in the WHL. He's 6 foot, 180 pounds, just turned 20 years old. I mean, he's been passed on in the draft twice, but I mean, this guy has been just phenomenal his last couple of years, especially in the WHL. If you want to just throw up his stats there, he's been absolutely insane. I mean, and especially in the World Junior Championship as well, like Canada the gold medal with those amazing stats. They're 176 goals against. You can't get very much better than that. And you might be saying right now, oh yeah, it's Canada. They won the gold medal. They had Bedard. They had all this stuff. They had all these different things that helped them win. But I mean, if you watched a lot of those games, you saw the saves that he made, and they kept Canada in the game. If you watch the Slovakia game, the Czech game, they were very, very close games, and he had to make a lot of big saves. So, I mean, I also just want to say, I think that the fact that he's been passed on twice lit a fire under him and maybe made him want to play even better this year. Said, I've got to get my what together. And you see, he's been ranked all over the place, pretty late in the draft, maybe 5th, 6th, 7th round pick. I personally would take him in around probably the late 3rd to 4th round because this guy,
wow. Okay.
I know, but that's where you get the good goalies, and I think this guy's going to be a really good goalie. It takes a long time to develop. Some guys can just come out of nowhere and play, phenomenal. You got Henrik Lundqvist was a 7th round. I'm not saying he's going to be Henrik Lundqvist. 7th round pick. I think this is the year that he finally breaks down the door and gets drafted to the NHL.
I think there's a reason why teams haven't picked him in the past 2 drafts. Like you said about Lundqvist, where it takes a while for goalies to develop and stuff like that, but I got a little bit of a red flag with him. You say what you want. He played phenomenal for Canada, played phenomenal for Seattle in the WHL this year. But I don't know. There's got to be a reason why he hasn't been picked in the past 2 drafts. That's my beef, I guess, with him.
It was really his coming out party this season, and then in the World Juniors as well. And as we know, you could draft a goalie anywhere in the draft, and they might not end up being that great. I mean, you saw Zach Alley where he was picked in the draft really high. I mean, look how that turned out. And then there's goalies pick in the 5th round or something like that end up being really good. So I personally would have him going in the late 3rd round.
Yeah, I kind of got 2 sides of this one. I think that, one, a lot of people might just try and pass on him for as long as you can go. Try and get him, not waste a pick on him, and see if you can sign him as an undrafted free agent. But then on the other side as well, you wonder if some teams will try to make that move up, like you said, in the 3rd or 4th round, because a team that's already there just needs a goalie. Like Noah, you said New Jersey. That team is already there. They just need a starting goalie. And Milic is of age to where he has that experience. He's played in the World Juniors. He is in the WHL, but he's mature. He's 20 years old. I think that age jump of 3 years between, just say, Trey Augustine and then you have Thomas Milic, I think that experience will do a lot more. And as well as the experience, the age gap, it's more mature. I think that could be the case as well if you get him, if you want to try and make a move up to get him, and you need an older, just say, experienced goalie in an already ready Stanley Cup playoff team. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea, which I can agree with that ranking.
If he turns out well and has a good camp, where he's 20 years old, I believe you can start him in the AHL.
You can.
I'm not mistaken. So if he has a really good camp, you can start even in the ECHL, play a few games down there. If he plays amazing. You can call him up to the AHL, and like we've seen goalies in the past go from ECHL to AHL to NHL in one season. That has happened before with goalies of less the caliber than Thomas Milic. I mean, I remember Michael Hutchinson down in St. John's back in 2014 went from the ECHL to AHL up to all the way to the Jets in 2014 as he was a backup. But the point being, like, it can happen, and Thomas Milic is definitely an experienced goalie with age.
Yeah, no, I do like Milic as well. You know, the age experience is big. You also have guys like you pick in a 7th round, like Dustin Wolf. We've seen how good he did in the AHL last year. Played a few NHL games. He looks very good. 7th round pick, give him a chance. Like, that's why I think you could draft him late, early, or not draft him at all and sign him as an undrafted free agent. I think Thomas Milic will still be very good regardless if he goes undrafted or does get drafted. But whatever team gets him, I think we'll be lucky to have him at any point, because I think that he will translate very well from junior to the NHL or AHL, wherever he goes. But that's all we have for this video. Let us know down below who you like in this draft in net. Who's your favorite goalie? Who's your top goalie ranked in this draft? Because there are many of them, many good ones we could have spoken about, but those are the 3 we chose. 3 we like the most, I would say. But if you like it, make sure to like and also make sure to subscribe, like I said at the beginning of the video. If you want to see more draft stuff, it's coming very, very soon. Very, very exciting time to be a hockey fan. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.